Alright, today we're going to talk about how to go from a logarithm to an exponential function and vice versa, so from an exponential to a log. So if I'm given y equals b to the x, so that's our exponential, y is what it equals, b is the base, x is the exponent. Then I could rewrite that as log with the base b, so the bases are the same, y equals x. So you should be able to, after today, go from an exponential function to a logarithmic and then back to exponential. So to start off, we're going to first write it into log form. So I'm going to give you an exponential function and I want you to convert it to a logarithm. So 5 squared equals 25. I could rewrite that in log form. So if I look at here, my base goes to the exponent, which equals y. So my log is my base. So 5 is the base of the exponential, 5 is the base of the log. What it equals to your exponent. So if I looked, 5 squared equals 25. And that's your answer right there. That's what it wants. So if I had 729 equals 3 to the 6th power, same thing, it's just written in the other order. So log base is 3. The answer equals the exponent. So 3 to the 6th power equals 729. Alright, example 3. Go ahead and do this one on your own. So 10 to the 0 equals 1. So this would be log base 10, 1 equals 0. Or most logs, if you remember when we did parent functions, we said it had an implied base 10. So I could also write it as log 1 equals 0, and those are the exact same thing. Alright, now if we write in exponential form, so I'm going to give you a log and I want you to convert it to exponential. I think this one is easier to see because when you write it in exponential form, it should be a true statement and you know how to find exponentials, or you know how to square something or cube something or raise it to the 4th power. So here I'm going to take my base to the exponent of 2 equals 81. So if I check that, is 9 squared 81? Yes. So that means you wrote it in the correct form. So that's how you can go back and forth to determine which one is the correct way. Alright, now if I have log 1,000 equals 3. So remember what we set up here. If there's not a base written, it's implied to be 10. So when I rewrite it in exponential form, I'm going to have 10 to the 3rd power equals 1,000. So if I cubed 10, I should get 1,000. Alright, so try this example 6 on your own. Hopefully you got 3 to the negative 2 power equals 1/9. And that is true if you remember what negative exponents do, so I can plug this in the calculator. 3 to the negative 2 equals 0.111. If I change that back to a fraction, it's 1/9. So that's how you can check to make sure that you wrote it in the right form. Alright, the last thing is we're going to evaluate. So if I give you a log, you should be able to tell me the answer, and that is going from changing it to a log to an exponential so you can determine what the answer is. So if I have log base 4, 2, I want to know what that equals. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is just make it equal x, because that's what we're trying to figure out. Okay, once you have it equal to x, write it into exponential form. So I'm going to have 4 to some power, x equals 2. Okay, well then I need to figure out what power that is. So if I think of what that exponent is, and I'm going from 4 to 2, well, what do I know about 4 that will give me 2? I know that the square root of 4 is 2. Well, do you recall what exponent gives me square root? If you don't, you should. X is going to be 1/2. So if you remember the 1/2 exponent, it means square root as well. So 4 to the 1/2 power equals 2. So that should be your answer. So if I check that, 4 to the 1/2 gives me 2. Alright, so now if I have log base 3, 9 equals x, first thing I made it equal x, so then I'm going to rewrite it in exponential, so 3 to the x power equals 9. So then I'm going to ask 3 to what power equals 9. That one should be easy for you. 3 squared equals 9, so x is 2. So these right here are your answers. That's what it wants to know. It wants to know, what does log base 4, 2 equal? Well, log base 4, 2 equals 1/2. Log base 3, 9 equals 2. Alright, so here if I have log 1/100th equals x. Okay, again, if there's not a base written, it's implied to be 10. So 10 to what power equals 1/100? Okay, well if I'm going from a whole number to a fraction, you should remember that that should be a negative exponent. So then I need to think about what 10 to what power gives me 100? Well, 2. So this should be a negative 2. Alright, hopefully that makes sense, good for you. If not, we can for sure go over questions tomorrow. The assignment is page 458, 6 through 24 evens, 50 through 60 evens. But I want you to omit number 52, so that means don't do number 52. And yeah, also your A1 through A3 are due tomorrow, so if you were absent on Friday before spring break, make sure you get that A3 out of the folder on the side of the room so that you can get that done. Alright, thanks, be good.